I'm Pete Stewart. I'm a producer, songwriter, and engineer out of Nashville. I mostly came to use Studio One because I was really frustrated using Pro Tools before that. I'd used Pro Tools for probably about 10, 12 years, recorded a lot of albums I was really proud of with it. But for me, I felt like the more that time was going on, the less stable my setup seemed to get with updates, and then there was just areas that I felt like I could work faster if the platform that I was using would allow me to. Started using it mostly for songwriting demos to kind of just ease my way in and see if it was something that was going to work for me. And it didn't take long at all. I remember when the 30 days came up, I was pretty convinced I was going to go ahead and pull the trigger. There was a situation where I was exporting tracks that I'd recorded as part of pre-production for an album I was producing. One of those songs was on Studio One. The other ones were all on another platform, and when it came time to export the tracks, it was lightning fast. I had spent the majority of the day exporting everything else and jumping through all these hoops, and that was the moment when I just decided, okay, I think I'm on board. This is going to save me a lot of time. Transitioning to Studio One is probably the first time in over 12 years that I've ever switched platforms as far as what digital audio workstation I'm using. So, you know, one of the reasons why I probably avoided switching for so long was just the fear of having to learn a whole new system and undo, 10 plus years of habits in the way that I record. But one of the great things about Studio One that I found right away is the way you can customize key commands, and not only that, but there being some built-in templates that fit into different people's platforms that they're used to. So for me, I first pulled up the Pro Tools keyboard shortcut setup, and it was great that there was certain ways that I just sort of have the muscle memory of doing things that are right there. I use Studio One in a pretty wide variety of ways. Well, some of the things I find exciting about the new version 3.2 would definitely include the enhancements to the arrow tool. A lot of Pro Tools users, is probably in the past one of the first things that they would maybe complain about or just notice wasn't the same, at least, is not having the Smart tool. So now Studio One has exactly what you would have been missing with the Smart tool. Having Vca Faders in Studio One is huge as well. It's actually, to me, something that when you combine it with the way that you can already send however many channels you want to different buses and things, gives you an extra way to actually be creative with the audio if you want to, being able to make the VCAs do what you want them to do and then decide which faders you want to apply them to and try them out on however many channels you want to. It just opens up a bunch of possibilities that weren't there before. Another thing that I'm real excited about with Studio One 3.2 is the mix engine effects. It's one of those things where I think when people open it on their first bus that they use it on, your brain's gonna automatically start thinking of ways you can really use it to shape your mixes. There's a ton of little things in Studio One that, to me, add up to make life so much easier and just allow me to work so much faster. To me, one of the things I've loved about Studio One since I've switched to it is just the more and more things that keep getting added like that to just keep you in creative mode, so you're not having to sit there and kind of remember trivial ways of working. You're just able to just kind of go, so that the DAW is eventually kind of just an extension of what you're wanting to create.
L'interface Studio 192 est équipée d'un puissant DSP qui permet de gérer jusqu'à 16 plugins intégrés Fat Channel en temps réel avec une latence ultra faible.